Hello, everyone. This is my father, Mark Tullis.
Hello.
So I'm just wondering, how did you watch movies when you were my age? Because I know that, like right now, we stream movies or we watch them on Netflix or something like that. But I know it was a lot different from when you were my age. So just tell me about it.
It was a lot different, Julia. We of course didn't have streaming.
Right.
We didn't even have videos back then. I mean, this was right before videos came out. Videotapes, VHS, but you don't even probably know what they are.
No.
But it was much more of a social activity. We'd go to a movie theater, and movie theaters were the site for people to go on dates, for friends to just meet and go see a movie, a matinee. Sometimes they'd see two movies at the same, right after one another. But it was a big community activity to go to the movies. And our family actually, as you know, we owned a movie theater in Ogden called Cinedome. It was something my father and my grandfather built when I was just about 6 years old. And so I grew up in this movie palace. It was a beautiful building. It had beautiful red carpet and curtains. We had a giant organ in the middle. We had a very large lobby that could fit 800 people. And people would go to see big blockbusters like Star Wars, Alien, Jaws. E.T. was a really huge film. But we had this ability to pack 1,600 people in the theater at one time in two big domes. And so it was a social experience to see a movie in stadium seating with comfortable rocking chairs and to see a movie with 799 other people.
That's a lot.
And it creates the situation where people can laugh, people can cry, and especially be terrified during one of the scary scenes. So you know how like we saw Jaws, we watched Jaws?
Yep.
And do you remember that scene in Jaws that's really scary, that jump scare?
When?
Well, it's when he's underwater. Richard Dreyfuss' character, I think his name's Hooper, and he's underwater, and he's inspecting a boat that had sunk, and a head comes out.
Exactly.
And that moment created this unison movement of the crowd pushing back in the rocking chair. In fact, we would go into the dome and watch that happen because we knew when it was going to happen. We would mark the time, and we knew exactly when that was going to happen. We'd go and watch the crowd, not the movie, because it was so entertaining to see the audience push back like that.
Just all of them.
So there were lots of things that we could do as a family.
Right.
That was all about showmanship. We had spook alleys. We had a Star Wars spook alley. We had a Dracula spook alley. We played this movie called The Fog. And my job, when I was your age, when I was exactly your age, my job was to operate the fog machine, which was a big tube coming under the screen. And during the sequences that the zombies are coming out during the fog, I would turn on this fog machine, which was a big barrel, and I would lower some dry ice into the barrel of water, and it would push out fog. And people sitting on the front row would be looking up at the screen, and they wouldn't notice that fog was coming out of the screen until it almost got right up to their feet. And then they would scream
Oh my goodness.
and run out because what was happening on the screen was also fog enveloping, all the victims. And so it was a great effect. And we were able to think of creative sort of showmanship things like that.
Right.
So, but that's what we did. We had great memories, and I wish you were able to experience something like that.
I know, and I never even got to see the Cinedome.
Sadly, it was torn down. We sold it, and it got torn down. And there really isn't a movie theater in Utah like it anymore.
Yeah.
But there still are movie theaters.
Of course.
And, we went and saw, what did we see recently? Taylor Swift. The Taylor Swift, you went to the ballet, but we went to Taylor Swift, and it was about a 3-hour film. But it's still awesome that movie theaters have seats that recline
Yeah.
and have even footrests that come up. And best of all, they still have popcorn.
Yeah. It's most important. That was so interesting. I really wish that streaming wasn't as popular because I wish we had a Cinedome. That sounds super cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, thank you for sharing that. That's
You're
so
welcome.
interesting.
You're welcome, Julia.